Hey folks, I haven't done a boosted board video in a while, but I just received the extended battery, so I figured I'd unbox that and install it for you in this video, and then we can kind of compare the size of it too. This will be good because people are just starting to receive it now. There aren't really a lot of videos on this as of right now. I was one of the first people to pre-order the boosted board with the version 2 with the extended. Anyway, so let's get this opened and we can kind of see. So this is really cool. Double the range here. So this is the battery here. It's all sealed up, but yeah, you can kind of see if I put it next to the boosted board, it's definitely higher. But this part of the board is kind of like wasted space in a way anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. So you've got your quick start guide here for the extended battery. Well, actually, this is for the board itself, I think, yeah. Then you've got the guide for the extended range battery pack here. They've also included additional risers for the boosted board. These are optional. If you're 175 pounds or over, you want to install these, but they're optional if you're under 175 pounds. Given that I have never really scraped the battery, I'm going to try it without it, and I think it should be fine. I'm also under 175 pounds. So, and then you've got a couple more boosted decals, which is really cool. And then in here, you've probably got tools and things like that. Yeah, a whole bunch of tools and things. So let's see. So yeah, you have got 2 tools to actually loosen and tighten the connector in here, which I'll be using when I replace the battery. You've got a cool collapsible skate tool as well that they include. It's like a little pocket skate tool that you can kind of, you take out all this stuff here, and then this goes in here. I think this goes in here like that. Then you've got a skate tool, pocketable skate tool. Really cool that they include that. Let's put this back. This is magnetic. You've got some new guard plates here. I'm going to just reuse the ones that I have. A whole bunch of new screws as well are included, so that's good to have extras. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the process here of replacing the battery. I've got my own driver here that you've seen in a prior video, so I'm going to go ahead and just start taking out the old battery. Actually, let me go ahead and take this stuff off first. Get the battery ready. Just get all the plastic off. Is there any plastic on the other side? Oh, there is actually a little plastic in here as well. Just want to make sure to get all that plastic off before getting this installed. The battery comes 30% charged, so I will need to charge this. Yeah, and then on this side you've got, so here's the connector here. You also need to update your firmware for the board before you get this installed, so make sure you download the boosted app, either iOS or Android, and then update your board's firmware. All right, let's go ahead and start the process here. Yeah, these screws, I could reuse them, or I could use the new ones. I think I'll just reuse them because these are still in pretty good shape. All right, and then you've got the plates here, the little screw plates. Sometimes these are a little tricky to actually take out. Tipping the board will help, but there we go. On this side, I got this one. Got to kind of use your fingernail. Actually, I could use the tool here and get that out. Probably easier. All right, and here's the battery connector. Now, this is really tight. You can't actually loosen this by hand. So that's where the tools, the included tools, come in handy. And the way that you want to use these is the boosted logo should face each other, face inward. They're basically identical tools, so what you do is you just put them over the knurled part. They just kind of grab onto each part here. You kind of separate them and then put them over the knurled part, and then what you want to do is then you'll just kind of loosen it like that. It just takes a few turns depending on how tight you made it last time. Then you want to kind of spread this apart and take them off. Once you feel that it's loose enough, you can start unloosening it by hand. You don't have to use the tools the whole way. All right, so there's the old battery. Let's do a quick comparison with it off the board. Kind of see old battery on the right, new battery on the left. Let's put them next to each other. Kind of see. Definitely thicker. It's about a pound more, so it doesn't weigh a whole lot more actually when I'm feeling these in my hand. It's only about a pound more, but it's definitely larger. Let's go ahead and install the new battery here. There'll probably be some dust and stuff under here. If you want, you can wipe that, but mine's fairly clean. And you kind of want to line up the connectors. You can kind of see, you may not be able to see it real clearly in this video, but the connector needs to line up and with a little, there's like a little slot in the round connector, and the slot needs to line up exactly. So you want to make sure by, visually looking at that, how it's going to line up. Let's see. There we go, and it should just pop right in. And then tighten this by hand first. And then I'm going to use the tools again. You don't want to just tighten it by hand because it won't be a very secure connection. So you definitely want to use the tools to tighten that. And it's good that Boosted includes those tools now too. All right, there we go. So now they're both on, and you just want to tighten it. You kind of feel how it tightens. And then you kind of stretch it and then put it back, and do it and make sure you get it tight enough. Don't over tighten it, of course, but certainly, you want it tight enough so that it's going to stick securely. That way when you're riding, it's not going to come off. See, now it's really tight and I can't even move that like with my hand, so that's good. And then put the wiring back in the channel. Kind of make sure it's in the channel. And I'm ready to line this up and install the screws and stuff back. The plate goes back in. Now the battery, in my experience from replacing batteries before, it will feel a little wobbly at first until you get it tightened. There is supposed to be a little opening right here as well. It's not supposed to be sit totally flush because the board flexes. So that enables the board to kind of flex. And then it's just a matter of kind of lining these up, back up and tightening them. The thing you'll find is the battery doesn't feel like it's seated properly because it does need to sort of lift up in the front here a little bit. Just get it aligned right and then start tightening the middle one first. And then it'll start kind of cinching down, onto the board. As you tighten each side, sometimes the other side starts loosening up too. So you want to make sure everything's tight enough. All right, that looks good. Now you're going to want to turn it on and turn your remote on and just make sure it works. Yep, we're good to go. And for comparison's sake, here is the old one next to the new one. You can kind of see here. If I bend down a little bit, you can kind of see. It's hard to see at this angle. Anyway, the new one is definitely a bit thicker. But again, this space is not really generally space that's used that much. I haven't really hit any curbs or anything like that. Hit the battery before on any curbs, so I think it's going to be a good thing. It's not really that much bigger, and it's only about a pound heavier. So let's feel how the board feels. It doesn't really feel that much heavier. I mean, yeah, it's a pound heavier, but it's not that bad. Yeah, so thanks for watching. This has been my installation of the Boosted Board 2nd generation extended battery. I'm pretty excited to finally have this after over a year of waiting. And I'm going to get this charged up and then go for a long ride. See you in my next video.